Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Annalise, and today we're just gonna hang out and talk about live music. I'm gonna tell you guys my top 5 favorite concerts that I've ever been to, in order. I'm gonna rank them. I didn't originally want to rank them, but I am gonna do that. It was very hard for me to narrow down, so let's get into it. Number 5, I saw Paul McCartney with Cal and Mike. This was years ago. We actually did this for Mike's birthday one year. We saw him in Newark, New Jersey. Obviously, it's Paul McCartney, a Beatle. Okay, so iconic. So I didn't really grow up listening to the Beatles, but when I met Mike and Cal, they introduced me to it and got me really obsessed with it. I like to think that if I was alive in the early days of the Beatles, I would definitely be a Paul girl. I think he's an incredible songwriter, and he's obviously a great performer as well. I really also love Paul's solo stuff, and I love all of his stuff with Wings. It was an incredible concert. We had the best time. I think it may have been one of the first concerts that me and the boys ever attended together as well. He performed a lot of incredible songs from his amazing, very long career, and one song that he did that really stuck out to me was Here Today. It's a song that he wrote for John Lennon. I've seen Paul McCartney talk about this song in interviews, and it seems that back in that time they were not very emotional with each other and didn't really tell each other they loved each other, and in this song he says that he loves him. So it's a very vulnerable song. It was a very vulnerable moment, and it was very beautiful. My number 4 most favorite concert I've ever been to would be Dave Matthews. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I love Dave Matthews. In fact, I do have Dave Matthews lyrics tattooed on my body, and I have actually seen him in concert 8 times now. I just saw Dave Matthews in June in Pittsburgh. It was a great show, and they played my favorite song of all time called Stay or Leave, which is a Dave Matthews solo song. I'd never seen it live. Honestly, kind of gave up hope that I would ever see them do it live because it's a rare one, but they did it, and it was a euphoric moment for me. I want to say that that was my favorite show that I saw of Dave Matthews, but that just isn't true. The best live show of Dave Matthews that I personally ever attended was at Jazz Fest in New Orleans. I want to say that was either 2013 or 2014. It was perfect. There was a rain shower in the middle of the show, and we just danced in the rain. And he played Bayou, which was really cool because we were down by the bayou in New Orleans. We were in Louisiana, and I was with some of my closest friends at the time, dancing in the rain to one of my favorite artists of all time. So it was pretty incredible. Moving right along, my number 3 pick would be Paramore. Now, if you've never seen Paramore live in concert, I highly, highly, highly recommend. Hayley Williams is so fun to watch. She has like really high energy. She's jumping around, kicking her legs up, and she sounds incredible while doing it, which is mind-blowing to me. She is this teeny petite little girl running around like a mad woman, and she is able to sound even better than the records. Her cardio strength and endurance is impeccable. I saw her here in Nashville, Tennessee at Bridgestone Arena, and this was around the time that Ain't It Fun was popping on the radio. My most vivid memory from that show was that they released balloons from the ceiling, and all of the balloons had the Paramore logo on them, and I think I stole one and took it with me. I always knew that Hayley Williams was incredible and amazingly talented from the videos I'd seen and everything, but to see them with my own eyes, I definitely developed a newfound respect for her as an artist, because she really carried that. She carried that, okay? So if you guys ever get the chance to see Paramore live, do it. Do it. We're getting right up on the list, aren't we? We're getting there. We're almost to number 1. My number 2 pick, and this was very hard for me to decide. My number 2 pick is Taylor Swift. I know. We all thought it would be number 1. I saw her on the Eras Tour. Hello. And I saw her twice. I am a very lucky girl. I don't know how it happened, but it did. I saw her in Atlanta and I saw her here in Nashville. Nashville does not have the best stadium. Sorry, Nashville. It's the truth. Your stadium sucks. I know you're trying to build a new one. The one that I went to in Atlanta was the brand new Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and it was amazing. The Eras Tour for Taylor Swift, not a bad seat in the house. I just want to touch on the fact that her entire production team for this tour really outdid themselves. So much to look at, so fun and colorful and exciting. When you walk in to the stadium, you get a little wristband that lights up depending on where you are in the crowd. Like, it has a sensor in it, I think. It's actually crazy. They are going with the beat of the song. Really makes everybody feel like they're a part of it. I love Taylor Swift and I respect her greatly. And genuinely, I felt like I was watching like my big sister accomplishing her dreams on this giant stage. I cried so much. I was just like proud of her and so inspired by her. Her dancers were incredible. Just all around, probably the best produced show I have ever been to in my life. It was very hard to choose whether or not the Atlanta or the Nashville one is my favorite, because in Nashville, Phoebe Bridgers opened up for her. And they did a song together, and she announced Speak Now, Taylor's version. So Nashville was an insane night. Just both of them. Can they both be number two? Because also in Nashville, I spent it with my best friend of many years. It was very full circle to have my childhood best friend with me and a couple of my other best friends there as well. So, drum roll please, the moment we've all been waiting for. My number one pick for the best live music concert show I've ever been to in my life. When I think back on this concert, I just cannot help but smile from ear to ear. It was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. My number one pick is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I went to a music festival in Virginia, which is my home state, and it was called Lock-In, but it was the second year that Lock-In was in effect. It's second year. The lineup was really actually amazing. I was sort of surprised with how good it was. The Allman Brothers were one of the other big names, which was pretty cool. But Tom Petty is truly who I wanted to see. We actually were able to get very close to the stage, so I could really see Tom Petty and the entire band. I danced so much, and I just had this like incredibly overwhelming euphoric feeling of just feeling like everything was right in the world. It's just one of the happiest moments for me when I think back. My favorite song that they did was Running Down a Dream. I love that song. He was running around just being insane, and he sounded so good, and he was playing his guitar so well. It was incredible. I wish I could go back to that moment and relive that, but I do in my own head. So that is definitely my number one Tom Petty best concert live show I've ever been to, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers at Lock-In I think 2015. Honorable mentions that I feel like they need the recognition. I saw Boy Genius. They played at Centennial Park, which I'd never been to a concert at Centennial. I stood there for hours waiting for them as other bands played. The other bands were great, but they were not really who I was there to see, let's be honest. So I melted. I was melting. It was so unbearably hot, but it was worth every drop of sweat. They came out in full drag to make a statement to the governors about their anti-drag policies and bills and laws that they have going on right now. That was just incredible and so cool of them. And yeah, they sounded amazing. Love Phoebe Bridgers so much. I love Julian Baker as well. And I love Lucy Dacus. Fun fact, Lucy Dacus is from Richmond, Virginia, where I am also from. So get it, Richmond girl. Another honorable mention is Grateful Dead. The boys and I went and saw Grateful Dead together just a couple weeks ago in Indianapolis. I'm not a Deadhead, okay? So I kind of went into this blindly, only knowing a few songs, fell in love with it, which is such a shame because it's their farewell tour. It's their last tour, so kind of late, but I loved the culture of it. Shakedown Street, which if you don't know what that is, it is basically, sorry, I got a text, I'm very popular. So Shakedown Street, which if you don't know what that is, essentially in the parking lot before the concert and after, there is just a little pathway that a bunch of Deadheads put together with their tents and their cars, and they sell all kinds of things like crystals and clothing, anything you could imagine. It's a really, really cool experience just walking through there, just hanging out with a bunch of hippies. Honestly, I am a rock and roll hippie. Like, I love rock and roll and shredding, but I am such a hippie girl at heart. So this, for me, I fit right in. I felt so at home. Everybody was so kind and sweet. I loved it. This is actually Dead & Company. John Mayer is sitting in with members of Grateful Dead, and he really fit in so well. I mean, he sounded so good. He sounded amazing vocally. He played the out of his guitar. Really good gig for him, a lot of soloing. I danced with my best friends, and we laughed, and we had a blast. It was truly amazing. So that one definitely is worth mentioning. Well, that's that. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I sit here and ramble about my most favorite concerts that I have ever been to. I would love to know about your favorite live show experiences, so please comment below and let me know. Yeah, I love you guys so much, and we've got new music coming for you very, very soon, so keep an eye out for that. I'll catch you next time. Bye. There may have also been some involved, but it's a music festival. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?